this. Hello, my name is Kristin Wingate, and today I'm going to be doing my presentation on Aaron Douglas. He was one of the most prominent and influential artists in the African American community during the Harlem Renaissance. And something fun, he is Kansas born and raised. So I'll just begin. Where is it going? Go. There we go. Okay. He was born on May 26th, 1899, in Topeka, Kansas, and he came from a more lower income family. His family really emphasized the importance of education, and so he went on to go to the University of Nebraska, where he graduated with a fine arts degree and eventually came back to Kansas City, where he taught at the high school level until 1925, when he realized that as an artist, staying in Kansas City wasn't going to further his career. I guess that might be how we all kind of feel sometimes as artists. But his dream was to go to France. But before that could really take off, he moved to New York, where he he moved to New York, where he started to be more involved in the height of the Harlem Renaissance. His reason to stay during this time was because of the writings of Alain Locke. It really showed him this part of the quote, new Negro movement during this time, the idea of how segregation was affecting America. So if we move on, his first commissioned work was titled The Crisis. It was commissioned for the NAACP magazine. This style and a lot of the styles that he has in his illustrations that kind of leads in a way into his murals, but mostly in his illustrations we see a form from more Egyptian type I guess wall art, the flat profile, sideways character, kind of like that. The only thing he really didn't take from Egyptian art was the eyes. As you can also kind of see once it goes into the murals, he really likes to do a lot of monochromatic type of layering to emphasize form and value and things like that over shading with a lot of details. He did a lot of silhouette work, like you can see here in his work, Harriet Tubman. He uses a range of color, usually just involving greens, browns, mauves, and blacks, with his human forms, like you can see in this lower mural right here. This mural is actually in Topeka, which I thought was really cool. But he felt that it would create a larger emotional impact to have the subtleness of this silhouette form. Something else that you can also see from his work is that he often used concentric circles to kind of influence where the viewer might be looking. So if you look up here with Harriet Tubman, it is more here and kind of ranges out, versus with this lower mural, these concentric circles are used with more light sources, like you can see here and right here, that really draws the eye. He found his greatest inspiration from his wife, Alta Sawyer. She was a teacher, and he said more so that she was what he really like derived a lot of this passion for his work from. And he worked as an artist until he died in 1979. But due to this very heavy involvement in his work in the art community, he was dubbed the father of African American art. So overall, his primary focus was during the Harlem Renaissance, and really just offering the counterculture type of narrative to stereotypical racist representations, really just showing the African American experience. His works and his style also really delved back on more traditional African art as well, not just the Egyptian. So yeah, overall, just that really sense of support and community and connectedness through that time with that movement really shows his involvement with the community, and really shows his way of portraying this in a I'm not quite sure the word I'm wanting to use, in a simplistic way that it was also very effective for the emotion of the movement, is what I was trying to say. So there we go.